As we recover from this crisis, now is the moment to put in place the long-term plan to build back America better. A plan that will increase opportunities with better jobs and with higher wages. A plan that will lower the everyday costs that strain our budgets and our nation's families today and long into the future. It starts with making investments that we know will make the economy more productive and lead to more growth over the long run. And $250 for every child 6 through the age of 17. There's been a lot of misleading talk, which is no surprise, I guess, about what I'm proposing in my Build Back Better agenda. It's not a short-term stimulus. It's a long-term investment in American families. My Republican colleagues have argued that long-term investments in physical infrastructure will grow the economy and reduce inflationary pressures. And I thank them for that. They're exactly right. We agree on that. At the same time, it's true that long-term investments that bring down the biggest costs that families face, housing, childcare, education, and healthcare, these investments will lower out-of-pocket expenses, not raise them. They will spur more people to work by helping ease the burdens of childcare and senior care that parents, especially mothers, bear, keeping them out of the job market. And they'll spread out over the decade. They'll make a huge difference for families, but they'll only make up around 1% of our economy each year over the next decade. And they're going to be fully paid for. This isn't going to be anything like my predecessor, whose unpaid tax cuts and other spending added nearly $8 trillion in his 4 years to the national debt. $8 trillion. They didn't even purport to try to pay for their tax cuts, which went straight to the largest corporations and the wealthiest Americans that keep prices higher than they should be. For example, and while today's consumer price report points in that direction, we will keep a careful eye on inflation each month and trust the Fed to take appropriate action if and when it's needed. Labor unions, trucking companies, railroads, and others. Today, gas prices are lower than they were early in this decade, but they're still high enough to create a pinch on working families. One key thing about the infrastructure bill that just passed the Senate is there are no gas tax increases. No gas tax increases. I made that absolutely clear that I would not raise gas taxes. I'm glad everyone in the Senate seemed to agree with that. But that's not enough. Recently, we've seen the price that oil companies pay for a barrel of oil begin to fall. But the cost of gasolines at the pump for more American people hasn't fallen. That's not what you'd expect in a competitive market. I want to make sure that nothing stands in the way of oil price declines leading to lower prices for consumers. So today, my director of the National Economic Council has asked the chair of the Federal Trade Commission to use every available tool to monitor the U.S. gasoline market and address any illegal conduct that might be contributing to price increases at the pump while the cost of barrel oil is going down. We also made clear to OPEC, the major oil exporting nations of the world, that the production cuts made during the pandemic should be reversed as the global economy recovers in order to lower prices for consumers. Recently, we've seen the price that oil companies pay. So thank you, God bless you, and may God protect our troops. Thank you.